NotebookLM from Google. What is it? How can it help you? And how can it help you learn new information? So the first thing to do is to upload new content, which can be a website, your own documents, text copied and pasted. In this case, I'm going to use the website address of our parent company, which is Interact Digital based in Chorley. So what I'm doing here is entering the URL, uploading it to NotebookLM. The NotebookLM system then reads the content into its system and gives just a summary of what it's read. On the right-hand side of the screen, what we see is the different tools we can use to interrogate this data. The first one I'm going to look at is the mind map. So a mind map is going to produce a list of all the keywords and associations that it's found in the source documents, in which case there's only one source document. And you can see from it, so we've got the services, and it's found out the different services that the business does. And one of those services is the SEO training that the company provides. I've interrogated this data a bit further, and it's doing some deeper research on where it's found the bits of information on SEO training. And you can see it's giving reference points into the data, which can then be further clicked on to give more information and to dig deeper. So it's down to the user to dig as deep as they want to. One tool I've mentioned is the audio feedback. And what it can do is give you feedback in an audio format. So it's almost like listening to a podcast. If you want to make it about a certain subset of the data, you can give it some questions, some queries, almost like a prompt in ChatGPT to tell it to look at a certain area in more detail. And what we're getting here is the audio feedback, which is interrogating the data.
Yeah, and it's not just about reviewing one agency.
No, not at all. The goal is to pull out those principles, those actionable ideas.
With the pro version of the license agreement, you can change the voices to a small extent. They're still Americanized, but the intent of the action here, which is to learn new data and to listen to the data in an audio control feedback, it does a great job. And you also have the option to interrogate the data by stopping it and asking questions. You can see on the screen there's an interactive mode. By clicking on that, you get to ask questions via the microphone on your laptop or your desktop or your phone, which in many respects is just like phoning up a podcast, a live podcast, and asking a question of the two people. I mentioned that we've got other options to look at. There's lots of reports we can write. We can produce study guides. We can produce briefing documents, blog posts, concept planners, career profile overview, all different angles of looking at your data or the data sources that you pulled into the system. My one particular favorite I've got is the flashcard system. So with the flashcard, you can generate a series of flashcards which have a question at the end of it. So you can use that to test your knowledge. So you learn the knowledge by reading it, by reading the mind maps, by listening to the audio, or even the video view, which is in the top right of the screen. All different ways of reading the information. And what you can do then is test yourself against that knowledge to see if you've learned it properly. We've now got the flashcard, and what it's done is given me some questions based on the data. So it's extracted the data from the website and given some questions he thinks that I need to know about. So the question here is, it must have found the information on the website that we offer a free service. And what is it? It's a data-driven approach to marketing that we've got, which is all correct. Likewise, if you get the information wrong, it will give you that feedback to say, no, it's the wrong answer, and this is what it should be. So for anyone wanting to learn a new subject, for students to learn more about a competitor's business, for example. It's a fantastic way to extract the information that you want about that business. You may want to ask about your competitor, upload their website and ask it, does my competitor offer this service? It will then give you the answer. It will isolate the strengths and weaknesses of the business. You may want to learn French, for example. You can upload a lot of French language documents and it will give you some feedback and set you some tests and flashcards based on that. So we're now generating a quiz, which is going to be used for further testing your knowledge about the subject that you've supposedly read and listened about. So the quizzes have been generated. So whereas before we had a bit of information and one answer, in this case what it's giving us is multiple choice answers about the subject matter being, in this case, Interact Digital and its services and employees. As you can imagine, being my own business, we know the answers, but I have thrown one in incorrectly, intentionally, just to show what would happen if you got it wrong. So most of the information comes from the source documents, but it does also bring in some data from the wider model that it's based on. And as I mentioned, that was the case of where I got the question wrong, but it does show you what the correct answer is. And it's a test that you can run through multiple times with multiple questions being produced. Another way of interrogating the data is asking it questions. So you can write a quick prompt, for example, and ask it to interrogate the data with a particular question you've got in mind. Asking about my own role, which is the strategy within the business. It allows you to get the answer, then save it as a note. So as you would do with a normal learning mechanism where you're using post-it notes, you can create your own little notes alongside the learning. Well, thanks for listening. I hope you learned something new about AI and a different new tool in your arsenal. This one, it's a fantastic tool, not spoken about very often, but it's from Google. Great at learning new techniques and new subjects. It's something we want to use more and more going forwards with our clients and ourselves.